Welcome back to the Four Horsemen. It's rally time. This is Tom from Spork Syndicate, together with Paul from Diecast Graveyard, Skip from Crossroad Diecast Speed Shop, and Ron from SoMo Diecast. We are the Four Horsemen. This month's build theme is Rally Car, and Sean Coral joins us as our guest horseman. I've chosen a pair of Hot Wheels castings, a drift box, and a high-tail chaser. Both are new castings in 2026, and both were designed by Brian Zhao. The drift box is, quote, a nuclear-powered 1980s-style hatchback, heavily modified for drifting. The high-tail chaser is described as a, quote, supercharged rear-engine sports car with a large rear wing, inspired by the Dodge Charger Daytona.
Zanim 6 lewy dostań, 70, późno 5 prawy do 4.
I chose the drift box for this build a few months ago. It reminds me of current rally cars, in that it packs a punch. Today's rally cars are a combination of an off-road suspension, a peppy engine, all-wheel drive, and a parking brake for making tight corners. The last time the Four Horsemen had a rally car theme, I chose to celebrate the iconic Subaru livery. This time around, I'm going with another classic look. The red and blue stripes of Martini and Rossi Vermouth are recognized by fans of all forms of racing. The familiar design dates back to 1970, when Martini Racing fielded a Porsche with company stripes along the lines of the machine. Not only did it reflect the psychedelic artistic styles of that era, it also was a timeless livery that works with the lines of the car. The high-tail chaser won't be a rally car. It will be a hill climber, or as they are commonly known, a hill monster. To me, hill climbers are a nexus between rally and time attack racing, with extreme aero packages and powerful engines. Time to take these two apart. Forgot I drilled and tapped the drift box. Onto the high-tail chaser. I drill into the dimple of the rivet with a 1/16 inch drill bit, then drill the rivet head off with a 9/32 inch bit. The drift box is an interesting weave of body, interior, and ground effects. There's a base, interior that includes headlight ducts, tinted glass, and part of the body into which the massive tail spoiler is molded. The high-tail chaser has a ground effects base, but the interior doubles as part of the fenders, maybe to represent carbon fiber. There's also tinted glass and the body with that Daytona-esque tail. I finished drilling and tapping the high-tail. I drill all the posts deeper with my 1/16 inch bit and then use size 256 self-tapping screws, which will hold everything together once the car is done. Oh hey, if you haven't already, would you please subscribe to Spork Syndicate? It costs nothing, and I don't send emails or texts asking for money. The parts are stowed and the castings go into the paint stripper. While the paint is stripped, I remove the axles and plastic wheels. I didn't film it, but each of the cars is getting a new set of rubber tires. When the castings are back from the stripper, I go over them with my wire brush attachments on my rotary tool, and then I take to the casting lines and flashing along the edges with files. I keep going, moving into smoothing out the spoilers on each casting, which is actually the next step in the build. Hot Wheels makes their cars tough enough to survive living room carpets, sandboxes, long drops, endless collisions, and anything else a child can come up with. That often means tail spoilers and other aero parts aren't shaped for the wind, so I often find myself filing and sanding molded tails into teardrop-shaped, more realistic parts to provide downforce. I really chopped up the drift box to make it a rally car. I increased the size of the wheel wells, cut and filed down fenders to reflect the aero packages of modern rally cars, and shaved, cut, and sanded down the interior so everything fit. To create more ground clearance, I filed the axle grooves deeper. I use a round hobby file because I'm using axle tubes to anchor the new rubber tires. I always check that the tube is level by using a longer one. After that, I cut it down to size. Off camera, I fed a used axle through the tube and filed 2 side holes near the ends. This is where I glue the axle so the wheels will still spin freely. I had to do a lot of alterations to every piece of this car. My fellow horsemen call me Dr. Frankenstein because of all of my ambitious scratch and kit bash builds. I'm definitely earning that moniker this month. Our first dry fit shows good clearance on the rear, which makes sense since I'm putting 10mm tires in place of 12mm tires, but the front is still sticking. More editing is needed. Oh, that sucks. Fortunately, I'm going to paint a carbon fiber weave into the hood, and there'll be a lot of decals to hide that scratch if I can't sand it out. I think we're there. I like that profile. The Hightail's base is too wide for the rear axle, barely. Instead of replacing the axle, I filed the base and created enough space for the wheels to spin freely. The clearance of this casting was perfect, and I didn't want to mess with the ride height with some axle tubes. This pair is coming along. Still have some fabricating to do on the Hill Monster. First, I bore out the thick triangular exhaust pipes. I like this feature, and making them look like pipes is a small thing you can do to add realism. The front splitter is going to be exaggerated, like all Hill Monsters. The challenge is that Hightail also reflects the pointy nose of the Daytona, built to create lift, not downforce. It also makes it difficult to mount the splitter without it looking, well, derpy. I tried cutting some of that overbite out of the base and adding another piece of styrene plastic. Almost. I drilled holes in the new leading edge of the car and fed 3 used axles through. This helped me mount the splitter so it's parallel to the ground. A couple of styrene end plates and we've got ourselves a splitter that is the right amount of ridiculous. The drift box gets a front spoiler I cut off a Bobo off-brand diecast car I bought specifically to harvest its aero. I needed to do a little more customizing to get the right fit on that unusual nose assembly. I like it. I was happy to reopen my paint booth, which took some damage but survived the 3 weeks of below freezing temperatures. Things are moving along well. The very first decal, a Tasty Cola logo, goes on without a fuss. A good omen. I love how this red decal looks against the yellow, and the microset helps the decal adhere to the shapes of the body. Reminds me of last year's Le Mans winning Ferrari hypercar. The hightail is done. Time to get the drift box carbon fiber on. Ugh, that's not going to work. And that's worse. Back into the paint stripper. We're just waiting for the rally car to dry. Can't forget channel logos. One last fabrication. Mud flaps. I forgot to put these on my Subaru last time, but I got them now. Moment of truth. I bought this decal set at least 2 years ago. I don't think decals spoil, but you never know. Okay, now we're cooking with vermouth. Thanks again to Sean Coral for being our guest horseman this month. Next month, our build theme is Super Detail, and we welcome Armor Cat Auto Works as our guest horseman. Four Horsemen builds are community builds, open to all. You don't have to have a YouTube channel or social media presence of any kind to be a part of it. To have your build included in our recap videos, send a glamour shot to fourhorsemendiecast@gmail.com. Please email your glamour shot on the due date, which is typically the last day of the month. The photo should be high res, and the car shot against a white or light background. And the image should be widescreen, like the dimensions of this video. Vertical or square images are challenging to crop in and lead to more work for the editor of the recap video. And if you do have a social media presence and upload your glamour shots or build video, be sure to use the hashtag Four Horsemen Diecast so the community of diecast customizers and enthusiasts out there can see what you've created. Here are my creations. We laughed. We cried. We built a couple of cars that go really frickin' fast. Glad to have you as my co-driver along this winding course. For the Four Horsemen, this is Tom. See you again real soon.